Absolutely. Let me take that to Mithali Nikore. Mithali Nikore, is this all being done for a trade deal? Is there more to it? Do you believe? Is Trump trying to get the best deal out of India, which is why these tactics are being used? Is that the main story? Is Russia and the other, issues being raised merely excuses? How do you see this moving forward? Do you believe dialogue will be reopened or not currently?
Absolutely, Uday. I mean, these are a lot of very important questions, but I'd like to highlight one thing that Nikki Haley actually tweeted just 2 days ago, where she's literally questioned why the president is singling India out when China, in fact, is the largest buyer not only of Russian but also Iranian oil, and why China and Mexico and Canada were given all of these reprieves, but India, which has been a consistent ally for not only just the US, but for particularly President Trump. I mean, we all remember the Howdy Modi and Welcome Trump events that were held, and when President Trump was given almost like a royal treatment when he came to India and when he went to Gujarat by the Prime Minister himself. So I think just these reminders that are being sent by the Republican administration to Trump are very critical. What is also critical to remember is that in the run up to the recent election in the US in 2024, a number of think tanks came up, which were Indian American think tanks, which were swaying the public opinion in favor of President Trump. And there was also a lot of monetary donations that were made by Indian Americans who actually are amongst the highest earners in the US. And they earn actually, on average, at least 25% more median income than any other minority group. And this financial contribution which is being made by the Indians in the US is also been highlighted to the president, and he is aware of it, given that the second lady herself is of Indian origin. So I think all of these factors are being emphasized and being replayed, that when you're breaking off a relationship with a country like India, it is going to cost you, and it's not only going to cost you in terms of future support, but I mean, at the end of the day, the Indians are an important base for the Republican Party, which is going to then start moving towards the Democratic Party if this is how their country is treated. And I think the other point really, Uday, is, I mean, of course, there is a motivation to get the best deal possible, etc., etc. But there is also a motivation to show that, in the India Pakistan conflict that happened, India has consistently denied the president's role, whereas Pakistan has always lauded it. And I think somewhere there is a resentment from the president's office that his role was not acknowledged in this particular situation. And I think that also has played some sort of a role in this recent outburst, if we can call it that. But I think saner voices within the Republican Party as well as within the Democrat Party are becoming, open, because they would, of course, be told from their, support base and from the manufacturers. I mean, the statements coming out from some of the Democrat side governors are that manufacturing in the US is highly reliant on imports from all over the world, including and especially India in some sectors. Of course, Sharadji talked about gems and jewelry, but we should also talk about engineering goods and machinery and equipment. And machinery and equipment is an input industry to a number of other industries, particularly agricultural equipment. So if your corn farmers can't get their machineries, how will they do their farming? So, and food costs will increase as a result for everyone in the US. But nobody is really, quantifying these macroeconomic impacts. And I think somewhere the farmer community also is realizing that, and therefore lobbying, for against this tariff.